when we say Kaddish as mourners, it puts us in this amazing kind of mindset. Most of us, when we say the Kaddish, when we're active mourners, we don't think about what these Aramaic words even mean. We think about the experience, the words in our mouths, what it means to speak them. And over so many years, standing with people at the graves of loved ones, reciting the words for the first time, and what it feels like, just this overwhelming sense of loss, lost in the words, lost in the space. 10 years ago, there was a really brilliant young man named Jared Branthman who died of brain cancer. He was bar mitzvah here, as was his younger brother. His dad, Steve, is considered one of the world's great raku potters and has a studio in Needham. Lives in Oak Hill Park. And he described what it was like walking back into his studio the day after he lost his oldest son, who was learning himself to be a potter, already showing great talents. And his father said, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with myself. He said the grief was choking me. And he said, so I didn't know what else to do except make a pot called a Chawan. It's a Japanese pot, small. And he made one, and he put it aside, and the next day, he made another one. And a few days in, he realized how he would say Kaddish for his son for the year. And every day, for a year, he made a different Chawan. And there he is in his studio in this corner, each unfinished, not fired up yet, but just kind of lined up in rows and on a special cart that he has for his finished work. And then a few years ago, he decided it was time to do something with them. So he fired them up. He's a teacher at Thayer Academy. And so at Thayer Academy, on the campus in Braintree, there's a gallery. And in the gallery are all 365 pots. And when you look at them, if you've ever had to say Kaddish for a loved one, you recognize them in their different phases. In the beginning, the pots are so dark and thick. You can feel the anguish of the artist. One of the things that pottery does is creates this kind of intimacy between the artist and his or her work. And so the pots, they're just so, it's just so painful. And then you watch as they change in various different ways. The pot on his birthday, the pot after a month, after 2 months. One of the extraordinary things about the presentation at Thayer Academy, which is going on now, is that in fact, when I went to the opening, he said to some of the different potters in the room, he said, pointed to them, he said, "When is your pottery done?" And one of them said, "It's done when the neck is smooth." Another one said, "When is your pottery done?" "I don't know, I just feel it." And as few answered that question, then he said, "I'll tell you, my pottery is done when it's in the hands of another person." And so almost all of the pots are for sale, which in the end was a beautiful way to share his love of his Son with so many different people. This is number 364. And Steve and Ellen let me bring it to show you this afternoon. And at its base, it is still dark and heavy and streaked through on the sides. The darkness prevails. But inside, there is light. Inside is the notion that as we live our lives, there is blessing, that in memory there is blessing. And so, whenever I look at this pot, I will look at the colors and the shape. I will hold it. And I will feel a father's loss. I will feel what it is in the artist's hands to come back from a place of deep darkness and return slowly, sometimes even reluctantly, to life. I hope if you have a chance to go to the exhibit that you will, because I've never seen anything like it. And Steve wants people to pick the pots up and to feel them and to look them over. And I thought, this memorial is a gift to all of us who share with him. And it helps us appreciate just a little bit more the blessing of every connection, of all the love that is ours.